5 years after his death.
5 years. Can you believe it's been that long already?
I can't,
It's
no.
amazing. Well, we won't have to wait too much longer for some new material. This will actually be the first album with new material since he passed away. It's coming out in May. It's called Xscape, as you can see from the video here. Basically, Sony have been allowed into the Jackson Estate's vaults to pick what they think can work in the modern market. They've picked out 8 new songs, along with some other records which have been more contemporized. The man behind this is Timbaland, who, with his team of producers, are more used to working with Beyonce, Justin Timberlake, more modern artists. What they've done is a more contemporary spin on these old records. Now, luckily for us, actually, these records are sounding more like the pre-90s Michael Jackson, the disco, soul, a bit more fun than his, I think, whinier material, I think, in the 90s. One of the singles, actually, that's going to make some controversy is one called Do You Know Where Your Children Are? I'm not going to lie, I've been humming it in my head throughout the day. It is very catchy. It's one of the better songs on the record, but it's probably going to cause some headlines.
Does seem like a bit of an odd choice. Now, the last album his estate released was controversial as well.
It was, for a different reason, though. That album called Michael, released in 2010, that included some songs which even his family members suggested it wasn't him singing on the record. They claim, including his daughter, said it was an impersonator. Now, that's quite some challenge to that record. But with all of these songs that are coming out, we have to bear in mind that Michael Jackson, for all of his flaws, was a perfectionist. And so these songs that are coming out were never meant to be heard by anyone. So I think they're okay to be a bit disappointed by them.
Well, I still look forward to checking them out. So May, did you say?
Yeah, it's coming out in May.
A little bit longer then. Okay. Now, someone else with an album out is the former Red Hot Chili Peppers guitarist John Frusciante. Is that right?
John Frusciante,
Frusciante. And he had somewhat of an original way of giving his fans a preview.
Very original. I've never seen anything like this before. He took, with his team, the record into the Mojave Desert, put it on a rocket, as you can see here, and shot it into space on a satellite. Now,
that certainly is original.
Yeah, exactly. Now, what happened was the satellite went up into the outer space, and it's in orbit, and his fans could download an app, and it would tell them exactly where the satellite was. When the satellite passed over their region, it unlocked the app, and they could listen to the album a week in advance. So let's have a little listen to the first single from this record. This is Scratch, and let's have a look at the rocket going into space.
Now, the promotion is certainly interesting and very original, but what about the album? Is it any good?
Well, that song that we just heard now was Scratch, and for me it sounds a lot like an experimental Red Hot Chili Peppers B-side, and that's because John Frusciante had a lot of sway over the bands during his time. This is the man credited with the music behind some of their better albums, so Blood, Sex, Sugar Magic, Californication, and by the way, he was the man who was the lead guitarist on all those records, and you can certainly tell his signature sound is all over this as well.
Okay, now speaking of music legends, a number of them are being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland this week. Who's made the cut then?
So this weekend we sadly mourned 20 years since Kurt Cobain passed, and he and his band are going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, very deservedly so, although the original drummer Chad Channing will not be there, despite initially being told he would be. Now, this isn't like a Pete's Best in the Beatles scenario. He did actually make a record with the band. It was their first record. It led to Nevermind in the end, but instead just Dave Grohl is going through. Now, people who are going in include Cat Stevens, Peter Gabriel, and of course the flamboyant rockers Kiss, which includes pretty much the anti-Kurt Cobain, if you will, lead singer Gene Simmons.
And their nomination has caused trouble too, right?
Yes, that also caused quite a lot of controversy. They were initially nominated in 2009, but that never actually happened. They weren't inducted. That caused a protest outside. Now they are being inducted, but only the initial members. So 2 of the newest members aren't being inducted, and that's caused quite a stir within the band as it is. And the reason that the organisers have said is behind that is that the new members actually haven't added anything, which is quite controversial in itself.
Okay, thank you very much, Mark, for that look at some of the latest releases in the world of music. Now it's time for our sports roundup, including some cycling, athletics and rugby. First, though,